We call it Hoops in the Heartland. It's the State Valley Conference Women's Postseason Basketball Tournament. 10 teams have slugged it out for 4 days in the Ozarks. Now it's down to 2. Jim Weedy, the Valley Coach of the Year, has the Valley's Player of the Year in Melanie Beglin and great seniors like Lisa Bierhoff. They've never been to the NCAA tournament, and now they're in the championship game again. And they'll face Coach Katie Abrahamson Henderson's Missouri State Lady Bears. Xavier's men have done it. Syracuse men have done it. Can the Missouri State Lady Bears do it? Can they win 4 games in 4 days and punch a ticket to the big dance? Indiana State and Missouri State, an automatic bid and a trophy awaits the winner in the Ozarks. America's Renaissance Conference is polishing a trophy and ready to hand out an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. State Farm Insurance presents Missouri Valley Conference Women's Championship game. The 1 seed, the regular season champion, Sycamores of Indiana State against the Missouri State Lady Bears from here in Springfield. Hi everyone, I'm Mitch Holtis along with Coach Jill Hutchison. 2 big questions to answer. Can Missouri State win 4 games in 4 days? And can Indiana State finally make it to the NCAA tournament?
You know, Indiana State has been in this championship game 2 out of the last 3 years. They want to be the bride and not the bridesmaid. But Missouri State is operating on pure adrenaline in front of their home crowd, Mitch.
They also have Carrie Koch. The top 2 players in this league are in this game.
Carrie Koch, a 4-time all-conference player, a freshman of the year, a player of the year her sophomore season, currently leads the conference and is number 13 in the nation in scoring. She's putting up 35% of the Lady Bears points. But she's going to have to deal with Melanie Beglin on the other side. Beglin is also a 4-time all-conference selection, the 05 Defensive Player of the Year, and as you said, the Player of the Year this season. She is the career leader in the Valley in assists and steals, number 3 in the nation in assists this year at over 6 a game, and number 9 in steals. But the real test is one of these players has got to lead their team to a championship and on into the tournament. That's the mark of a great player.
Indiana State blew out Missouri State during the regular season, but then Missouri State returned the favor here in Springfield. High-stakes game of poker. They both bet all in. Who will be the champion? The Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By Budweiser, bright, crisp, clean, pure. This is Budweiser. This is beer. By Conagra Foods, maker of Banquet, Chef Boyardee, Ready Whip, and other favorites. By Pepsi-Cola, the official soft drink of the Missouri Valley Conference. And by Aeropostale, providing scholarships through sponsorship with athletically inspired, comfortable clothes at reasonable prices. Tons of emotion and a near-packed house at the Hammond Center for our championship game in Hoops in the Heartland, a presentation of State Farm Insurance. Here's our Bud Light lineups brought to you by Bud Light. Great taste for your great times. Bud Light. Sarah Kloss and the seniors had a very good tournament, helping out Carrie Koch in scoring. The Sycamores also a team that relies on the senior class. Stephanie Lish has had a brilliant tournament. Lisa Bierhoff, one of the great three-point shooters in Valley history. Coach Katie Abrahamson Henderson, 24 letters, 14 consonants, 10 vowels, and a hyphen, and she's proud to bring her team in here trying to win 4 games in 4 days. She's 9-1 as a coach in conference tournament games. And the Valley Coach of the Year for the 2nd time. Jim Weedy, 3 times he's been in this game. Never has he won it and gone to the NCAA tournament. Let's check in with Jill Hutchison's keys to the game. Brought to you by National City, where they want to make banking simple for lives that aren't.
Missouri State has got to take care of the ball, especially against the press from Indiana State, and they've got to control boards. Indiana State has not been good on the boards the entire tournament. Of course, Indiana State's worried about the crowd, but they've got one of their own here. I'm not sure that's going to be as hard as they think. And their goal is to wear out Carrie Koch. If Koch is contributing 35% of the offense, they want to try and wear her down. They know she'll give points, but they're not going to give her the game.
take a look at our Sirius Satellite history, brought to you by Sirius Satellite Radio. Sirius is unbeatable radio. All radio is not created equal. Told you about the blowouts. We had the game on TV at Terre Haute. Indiana State drilled Missouri State 58-34. But look at this. The favor returned. 30-point win to the Lady Bears here in Springfield. Let's check in with our man on the sideline for this championship game, Scott Warman.
All right, thanks, Mitch. You know, this is the first year that we've seen all 10 teams participate in the women's tournament. Now, back in 1997, that's when the men's had all 10 teams participate in the tournament. 1/7 seed made it past the second number 2 seed. They wound up losing in the second round. A little history, Mitch, here, because the 7th seed, when all 10 teams are playing in the Valley tournament, they never made it to the championship game or won the championship. Maybe we'll see that today with Missouri State.
And last year, of course, the 8th seed, Illinois State, went on a magic carpet ride and won it in their building a year ago. And it's really been the story both on the men's and women's side. Syracuse men win 4 in 4 days. Xavier's men win 4 in 4 days. Can Missouri State do it here?
You know, that's why we play the ball games. You know, teams change during the season. Certainly playing in front of your home crowd makes a difference. One thing about Indiana State, though, they've been able to win on the road. They are 12-2 this season in road games, 8-1 in the conference. And, you know, that says a lot about their ability to show up in any environment.
Koch, nice look inside. She's got the game's first points. And let's be honest, one of the road losses was here. The other, Jill, against the Yukon Huskies.
Absolutely. Those are 2 good games. You know, apparently Indiana State really didn't show up in this game, and Missouri State was on fire that day.
Beglin, the player of the year, loves to turn the corner and find her teammates. A mishandle by Lish. 8 to shoot. Menpaw, an open look. Tough board. Pulled down by Tiff Turwelp of Missouri State. Now they're face guarding Carrie Koch with different people, Jill.
Well, they're going to try and keep her from touching the ball as much as humanly possible. No help at all when you're guarding Carrie Koch.
Combs not a dribbler, she's a shooter, and Indiana State's defensive scheme works on that time. Beglin loves to push it and travels with it.
Here you see them switching defense on Koch some even, and anybody could end up guarding her if they keep switching even littles and bigs. But they're going to limit as many touches as possible with Carrie Koch today.
They're also going to try to wear her down here. You see her pick it up, and they're going to make her work and bringing it up the floor 85 to 90 feet, although Tani Bolero will be able to rescue her later in the game.
Well, we need to mention Koch has played all but 2 minutes of 3 ball games this weekend.
Koch steps through a trap. Turwelp finds Clausen. Good ball fake. Clausen had been good in the last 2 games. She struggled in the play-in game, and Indiana State throws it away. That's 3 early turnovers for Indiana State. 2 of them have been unforced.
You know, I'm going to guess that both teams are going to start off a little tight in this game. And as the game progresses, I think we'll see them both settle down.
You see the 1 turnover by Missouri State, but they have been great in not turning it over. Only 6 turnovers in their play-in game against Bradley, and only 4 against Northern Iowa in the semifinals.
That's pretty darn good ball handling, Mitch.
Clausen. You give Combs an open look, she'll knock a 3 down, but not a dribble penetrator, but Clausen is. 2 on the shot clock when Clausen drilled the shot.
Sarah Clausen has had the best year of her 4-year career here this season. She's in double digits. She's averaging over 12 points a game and really a difference maker.
Beglin with the miss and Clausen with the rebound. In the game here in Springfield, Clausen 19 points, 10 rebounds. Part of that 30-point win by Missouri State. Hannah Kirk leaves it a little thin.
You know, both these teams are perimeter oriented. The X factor today could be post play.
Turwelp was big in the post in the semis. 14 first half points against Northern Iowa. Missouri State's defense has been good. That's a forced shot by Lish. Menpaw can't get the stick back.
Missouri State dominating the board so far in this game.
And active defensively. They really struggle against Bradley defensively, but you mentioned this crowd has energized them as the days have progressed.
They've gotten stronger and stronger, and you know, people keep wondering if they're going to be tired playing so many games.
Three missed by Koch.
At this point in the season, you don't get tired.
Koch is 5 for 21 from 3 for the tournament, and there's Beglin's first points of the game. Indiana State on the board.
Tell you what, it's hard to keep either number 22 from handling the ball when they're bringing it up the floor.
Valero, you see at the scores table, ready to check in to move Koch to the off guard. Near pick by Beglin, and she does nearly get a steal. Diving for the ball, Missouri State keeps it. It's well known, Melanie Beglin, more steals than any player in the history of the Missouri Valley Conference. 9th all-time in the NCAA Division I women's ranks. Valley Coach of the Year Jim Whitty, his team down 4-2, 15:44 left in the first half. At halftime, we'll have our Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital report, a presentation of Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, where a love for kids just keeps on growing. Indiana State's got a challenge in trying to win her on the road, although they've brought most of the Wabash Valley here with them. But Missouri State has owned their home court down through the years. Going to be a foul against Valera. Look at this now. They have only lost on their home floor 12 times ever, Jill, ever against Valley opponents.
Well, 3 of those have happened this season, and that was a big surprise to these Lady Bear fans, I think.
Leah Phillips was big yesterday. Had a career-high 17 against Evansville, but misses her first shot in this game. Koch. Deep 3, not there. Beglin saves it to Clausen. Kristen Weddle fouling Sarah Clausen.
Clausen doing a nice job attacking the basket, and she's done that this entire tournament.
You mentioned she's elevated her game as we look at Kristen Weddle. But if Koch gets face guarded all day, somebody else is going to have to step up. Now Koch will get her points. Koch steps out of bounds, a turnover. Koch will get hers. Now she's going to have to work real hard to get him, but somebody else has to have a big day for this Missouri State team.
You're right, and in the past it has been Clausen. Turwelp showed up for him yesterday. The same thing is true for Indiana State. Lish is playing the best basketball this weekend.
Rodolphe not there on the turnaround, but Phillips has it tipped out to her by Lish. Sometimes you think there's 3 Steph Lishes on the floor. Steal by Koch.
You know, both teams doing a good job in defensive transition today. That's where both of these squads get a lot of their points, and if they take that away and make it a half-court game, it's going to be a lot tougher.
Turwell hit that shot yesterday.
Great follow, though, by Turwell, getting her own board there.
4-2. These two coaching staffs, and watching their approach today, Lish tough to the basket. Probably going to be on Rodolphe. Nope, it's on Lish. It's her first, second team foul on Indiana State. Our Prairie Farms Missouri Valley Conference Scholar Athlete is Melanie Beglin. The Player of the Year in this league was the Scholar Athlete of the Year. Look at the GPA in business, nearly a 3.9. Again, not only the Jackie Stiles Player of the Year, but the Scholar Athlete of the Year. And again, we've said it before, but Jill, we need to say it again. The top players in this league, for the most part, are some of its best students.
They are, and that's the way it ought to be. This is college athletics, and these are student athletes. So it's all about doing a good job 2 places. And I think coaches have found that good students make good players.
Indiana State gets another turnover. Lish. No, Menpaw gets the offensive board. Has Lish wide open under the basket, finally sees it. Steph Lish coming off a double-double yesterday of 12 points and 12 boards. And Indiana State's defensive scheme here early has been good. But mentioning the preparation of these 2 coaching staffs, 2 very sound schemes in what they gave us this morning.
Yeah, I was very impressed with both game plans, and both will work if kids can execute, and that is the bottom line all the time.
Koch getting a lot of attention. Valerio, bingo. Tony Valerio's been a good free throw shooter in the tournament, but not from the field. But gets an open look and buries it there.
Valerio hasn't been the most consistent three-point shooter either.
Beglin forced that shot. And a foul on Menpaw. And that's one of those chicken fighting fouls, 80 feet from the basket.
Yeah, that's the kind you need to avoid. Those are frustration fouls, not good judgment.
You saw Jim Weedy press his temples. It's not a chicken fight, it's a basketball game. We played 7 minutes. It's 6-4 Missouri State.
Well, we should mention Missouri State really was successful last night against Northern Iowa because they stayed out of foul trouble. And so far, they have 0 fouls to Indiana State's 3 in this half.
Koch again getting a lot of attention. Nice touch pass, a favorite play for Missouri State. They get Brett and White a layup, but they'll get that triangle set, and the poster sets the screen, slides to the basket. 8-4 Missouri State. Here's one of the Lady Bears' favorite plays.
Nice just dump off of that, and against that zone, there's not enough coverage on that short corner to cover the post, making that cut.
Koch gets all the attention, and then all of a sudden they've been able to realize some open people in the Indiana State scheme.
Again, I think Indiana State is so focused on the perimeter defense. If posts on either squad can step up.
Now here's your fatigue factor. As you're saying that this time of year they don't get tired. Look at the minutes played. And again, this is their 4th game in 4 days. Koch and Clausen have been on the floor almost every minute.
But that's been true of those two players all season long. And I think they are so used to it, they have just blocked out a fatigue factor.
Matchup zone by Missouri State. Beglin, great feed to Menpaw on the backside.
Nice screen on top by Kara Schilly to set that up as well.
Beglin, 673 assists, all-time leader in Valley history.
Neither team is lighting it up offensively yet, Mitch, but they certainly have the potential.
Combs have been great in this tournament from 3. 7 of 9 from 3 prior to that attempt. She loves that corner shot.
Sorry, Mitch. She started some huge runs, too, for the Lady Bears.
Menpaw draws the contact. Brett and Wyatt on the foul. 2 shots for Menpaw when we come back. 8-6 in our Valley championship game. The Indiana State Sycamores never been to the NCAA tournament. Missouri State has been there 12 of the last 15 years. 8-6 Missouri State, 11:50 remaining in the first half. Let's go to Scott Warman.
Hey, Mitch, you know, yesterday, Evansville, even though the score didn't indicate it, was hovering around with Indiana State throughout most of that game, as we remember yesterday, and they were playing a lot of an inside game, even though Indiana State was under a lot of duress with a lot of foul trouble. Let's see if Missouri State works that ball inside. That could be double trouble, especially if Combs and Koch get going on the outside, Mitch.
Menpaw hits the free throw. She's 4 of 5 for the tournament at the line, but just 64% for the year. And, you know, I think the other thing can be said for Indiana State's posts.
Exactly. That's a two-way street out there. Whoever can get the inside going.
8-7 Missouri State. Valerio, Koch. Missouri State keeps it with 10 to shoot.
Nice patience by Carrie Koch to see what the defense is doing, draw the trap, and dump it in.
This is not an easy scheme that Indiana State is playing. They're going to have to really talk and communicate.
Yeah. And, you know, with this crowd, that makes it a lot tougher.
They've been trapping at certain spots on the floor as well. Valerio now sees the clock. And a foul. Beglin fouls Valerio with 1 second on the shot clock.
And not a good foul by Beglin with that much time left, and she had forced Valerio so far outside the paint. She had a terrible angle. She needed to play the board off of it.
Missouri State is #1 in the nation in shooting free throws. In this tournament, they are 53 of 57 at the line.
And they have been very smart about getting to the line and not sending their opponent there.
Last year they led the nation as well. At 79%, the Lady Bears with 6 bench points. Big advantage yesterday. Turnover, Indiana State. They're 5th.
Indiana State playing a little tight right now, I think. Not their typical poise and swagger.
I think Jim Weedy was trying to get his freshman Kara Schilly to kind of calm down a little bit. We have seen her be very good this year. She had 11 rebounds against Evansville on her senior night and 10 rebounds against Wichita State. She's a scrapper. Clausen, that's a great look. Clausen 14 of 29 for the tournament. Menpaw, easy bucket, dished out by Melanie Beglin. And Valerio, we've seen her push throughout the entire tournament.
And that is definitely the tempo that Missouri State wants to play, and that's why Valerio makes a difference.
Corner is a dangerous place to be against this Indiana State team. You get down there, you're going to have lots of company. Koch. A throwaway. She wanted to dish it to Wyatt. Valley basketball all year brought to you by Aeropostale. Athletically inspired, comfortable clothes at reasonable prices. Only at Aeropostale. For store locations and for your St. Patty's Day green, go to aeropostale.com, providing scholarships through sponsorship. Part of the horde that has made the trek from the Wabash Valley here. Big crowd on hand. Of course, partisan Missouri State, but a lot of Indiana State fans here as well. Koch on Verhoff. Seven to shoot. Menpaw. Wyatt with the defensive board.
Missouri State playing the best defense of the season this weekend.
We have seen them at times. They just have not been very excited about defending. Clausen has the shot blocked.
You know, in their defense, they played 6 games without Tani Valerio, one of which was against Indiana State, and that's a difference maker.
They throw it away. 6 turnovers against Missouri State.
Jim Weedy getting a little uptight here, trying to get his team to execute the game plan.
That game we had back in January, you mentioned no Valerio on the lineup. Remember Missouri State, they had 4 shot clock violations. They only scored 34 points in that game. Different team today.
No question. And Valerio gives them a different rotation as much as a spark off the bench there.
Clausen. Hannah Kirk with an offensive board. Koch sets up Clausen. A 3. Sarah Clausen, only her second three-pointer of the tournament. Came in 1 for 8 from 3. Lish forced that one. Offensive board, Menpaw. Great board and then a bad decision and doesn't run the floor to get back. Turwell with an easy 2.
Jim Weedy taking a smart time out here, trying to get his kids refocused.
Menpaw did a great job to get the offensive board, but then a bad decision to shoot it. And then Turwell just took off to the other end. Missouri State It has been title town for the Valley when you look at 18 combined season and tournament championships.
That's unbelievable. This has just been a program that has stepped it up in the last 2 decades and has taken control of the Missouri Valley Conference. Drake really has had a strong history, and this year came in as the 2nd seed, lost in the first round. Look at those Final Four banners.
1992 in Los Angeles, and then the unforgettable 2001 season with Jackie Stiles in the capital city of the Valley, if you will, St. Louis, when the Lady Bears went on their ride. Beglin for 3. Gets her own board. Beglin just 28% from 3 this year. Very off. Rodolphe with a tough stick back.
Rodolphe has been a key player for them down this stretch. She's not only good on the board, she does a great job on blocks.
Had 14 against Missouri State in Terre Haute in that low-scoring 58-34 game. Turwell finds Clausen. Indiana State making every pass hard. 6 to shoot. Valerio, not really a three-point shooter, and the board to Rodolphe. 3 for 21 is Valerio from 3. Veerhoff yet to get a 3-point attempt. Throws it away.
Nice rotation in that defense by Missouri State.
Clausen in transition. Hannah Kirk block. What a block by Rodolphe.
Number 4 in the conference in blocks.
Beglin contact. Foul on Valerio.
That's what Beglin does best, is go to the basket.
Second foul on the Lady Bears. 17-11 Missouri State trying to win its 4th game in 4 days. Let's take a look at the Valley standings brought to you by Ameren, Legion of Men and Women, making sure the night lights of the neighborhood flicker to light when called upon. Visit Ameren.com to learn more. 365 and then some. Jill, here's the way it played out during the regular season. Indiana State impressively won the league by 3 games.
Well, their 2 losses. One was here to Missouri State. The second was to Drake at home, and they were ready to wrap up the conference on that game. But they've definitely been the cream of the crop, and everybody else has fought it out down below. But Missouri State was really only 1 game out of 5th place.
Beglin real good at the line. She has hit 29 of her last 34 free throws. Her performance in the finals last year, unforgettable. 30 points, 17 in the final 8 minutes, and yet not enough when Jackie McCormick's shot went down to give Illinois State an 8 seed, a win on its home floor to go to the NCAAs. Combs. Clausen against Beglin. Combs 0 for 2 from 3 and a good checkoff by Rodolphe.
Yeah, Combs, they can't continue to leave Combs open. She'll start to hit those.
Beglin, a lazy floater pass and a turnover. This isn't the day for lazy floater passes on either side.
No, and that's Koch picking it off. Both players on the all-defensive team, only 5 in the conference that are recognized with that honor.
Koch. Phillips trying to hang with her and fouling. That's the first foul on Phillips.
She could give Phillips an education there on the defensive end.
It's a common foul, so Missouri State and Carrie Koch, 13th in the country in scoring. Only Jackie Stiles more points in Missouri State history than Carrie Koch. Combs forced to put it on the floor. Hannah Kirk giving her team some effort, but Weddle there to get it out of there for Indiana State.
Nice defense by Koch to stop that penetration.
Lish. Weddle, 13 to shoot. Weddle, tough shot off the glass. She has had a tough tournament. Hasn't been much of a factor offensively, but gets a bucket there, her first of the game.
I think Weddle needs to assert herself more, frankly, and look for her shot a lot more. They've got to start taking the load off of Melanie Beglin.
17-15, 6 unanswered for the Sycamores of Indiana State.
Sycamore switching on those ball screens.
Hannah Kirk fouled. Leah Phillips has picked up her second.
Number 10, Leah Phillips of Indiana State.
At halftime, our Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital halftime report brought to you by Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, where our love for kids keeps on growing. Hannah Kirk is the lone exception on this roster of the kids who play the minutes. The nation's best free throw shooting team is a 47% foul line shooter at the line.
You know, Kirk is basically a defensive player for the Lady Bears. She's not considered an offensive threat. She only averages 3 points a game in spite of the fact she is in that starting lineup. But she's also a team leader, one of 3 seniors out there that's a difference maker.
Kirk with 1 of 2. That ends the Indiana State run. 4:51 to play in the half. Bratton Wyatt back in, the very good freshman from Edmond, Oklahoma, to play the middle for Missouri State. Tiffany Rada now in for Indiana State. Weddle, contact. Turwell.
I think both teams are learning that tagging the basket makes things happen, whether it's drawing fouls or whether it's causing mismatches and switches and freeing up other players.
Getting plenty of contact in this game, but I think the game has been very well officiated to this point. Right to the basket.
Turwell got smacked in the eye on that one.
Koch. Lish right there on her.
Yeah, Turwell really is having trouble seeing right now. Greg Small is going to stop the game and see if they can check this out a little bit.
Poked in the eye. Turwell wants to stay in. Now they're going to sub her out now. Kirk in. Let's take a look how this happened.
Whoa, got her good. Certainly inadvertent, but she got smacked.
Laura Rodolphe.
Hopefully it's not a serious one.
Bad pass by Koch. Rodolphe's giving good minutes to Indiana State. Weddle, Indiana State trying to put the heat on here. And Rodolphe has 4 points. Timeout. Katie Abrahamson Henderson and Missouri State. We've had severe weather throughout the area the last couple of days, but the intensity in this game could be measured on the Fujita scale. 18-17, a very intense first half.
If anybody wants to see some good college women's basketball, this is a game to be watching. Both teams very well coached, well disciplined, and right now the execution has really settled down. Nice dump inside. Beglin's making some things happen. You know, if they're going to take her shot away and help out on her penetration, she's finding her open player, you know, on the paint, getting some high percentage shots. But, you know, Koch is doing the same thing. They're trying to double her, and she's finding her open teammate.
Great job by Steve Kirk talking to guys and gals in the truck to show you why these two players are so valuable. We get so caught up in scoring and thinking about scorers, but Koch and Beglin do a lot to get other kids shots.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's a consummate team player, and both of them are. They're more interested in winning a ball game than getting a title.
Four to shoot. Koch only has 2 points, now 4.
Well, I tell you, when she gets that mismatch with a shorter defensive player, that time Rada, she can go right over the top of them.
Beglin.
Boy, Rodolphe showed up today.
And got Lish a bucket.
Yeah.
Well, Rodolphe in some of the posts were catching the heat of Jim Weedy. There's a foul on Lish. That's going to put Missouri State into 1-1. Second foul on Lish. Jim Weedy was kind of challenging his post today at practice, but they have stepped up here. Tiff Turwelp had a little eye problem, but looks like he's going to be okay. 20-19, Missouri State, 3:04 left in the half. When Metro Sports has taken its television cameras on the road through our Valley TV schedule, these have been the homes away from home. Call these hotels or visit the websites when following your favorite team. Or maybe you're traveling the Midwest with one of your youth sports teams or vacation. These are great places to stay. They took care of Jill and myself all throughout the winter. 20-19, Missouri State, 3:04 left. 1-1 for Clausen. That is the third free throw missed in this tournament by Sarah Clausen. And that's amazing because she was at .892. And now Hannah Kirk might be hurt.
I think she just fell and inadvertently twisted her ankle there. Looks like it's one of those kind that's going to come back, but didn't feel good.
Rodolphe has been aggressive. 6 for Laura Rodolphe, and the lead belongs to the #1 seed, Indiana State.
Rodolphe, a sophomore, really stepping it up here for the Sycamores.
An automatic bid on the line. Missouri State trying to win 4 games in 4 days, like the Georgetown and Xavier men. Hannah Kirk. Koch waiting on the ball.
Nice ball movement by the Lady Bears that time. They just didn't get it to fall.
Beglin in transition where she is most dangerous. Beglin.
And there's Rodolphe again.
Off Rodolphe, out of bounds to Missouri State. She's going after every loose ball. Laura Rodolphe, the sophomore from Carlisle, Illinois. Back in, Missouri State trying to win 4 in 4 days. Erica Fricke from the Valley office, who's done an awesome job being the PR person for the women for the her first full year of doing that job, came up with a couple 4 and 4s on the women's side. 2004 Vanderbilt, in 1997 Auburn. On the women's side, where they won 4 games in 4 days.
I'll tell you, it doesn't happen often. There's no question. And perhaps the most unique thing here is that Missouri State's on their home court.
Koch sets up Valerio, and she buries one.
Wow. Valerio is showing up when money's on the line. That's her second 3 today. She's only hit 17 before that all season long, shooting a meager 27%.
2-point lead, Missouri State. Beglin. Menpaw, 10 to shoot. Weddle. Menpaw, another offensive board for Indiana State. The reverse layup, no. And a foul on Menpaw.
Frustration foul, and she's going to have to discipline herself to not go for that.
Lisa Verhoff has yet to get an attempt in this game. And to give credit, time she's going to be open if you can.
Well, there's no question that the defense collapsing when the ball goes in the paint. Scouts are open, and Indiana State and Missouri State needs to start looking for them.
Turwelp to the line. There's at least one of the best 3-point shooters ever to play in the Missouri Valley Conference.
Well, she put the ball on the floor yesterday and got a great layup, and I don't think anybody in the gym expected to see that. So Verhoff, no question. 3-point
lead, Missouri State, 4 straight points, 8 boards already. I'm more than I was against Tiff Turwelp. She had 14 of those points in the first half. Inside of a minute remaining in the first half.
Missouri State is 9-0 in games in which they lead at halftime.
Verhoff had a look at a 3, but didn't get it. Valerio against Beglin. And Beglin picked her. Beglin picks Valerio on the open floor. And the player of the year goes to the other end and lays it in.
Wow. That was a great play by Melanie Beglin.
It went from being an easy basket for Missouri State to 2 points for Indiana State.
You almost feel like Beglin's finally into the game and not worried about anything.
Valerio, Turwell, bucket, right at the buzzer. Tip, Turwell, a buzzer. And Missouri State has a halftime advantage. Great pass by Valerio. Turwell with the finish still right at the buzzer. Let's go to Scott Warman.
Coach, up at the half. Were you a little bit worried, though, coming in 4 games in 4 days? That's a lot.
No, not really. We've prepared all season and really worked on the track and everything. And there's so much energy in this building. I mean, you cannot not play hard. It's a great atmosphere.
What has been the key in this first half?
Not fouling. I think not fouling. They're fouling and we're not. We're being able to go to the foul line, so we got to keep that up.
Coach, thanks. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Mitch?
All right, our chat with the coaches all year long brought to you by Mercy Health Plans, an innovative health management company empowering members to make healthy choices. The way we care makes all the difference. A flurry at the end by Missouri State. A 3 by Valerio. And Turwell with a bucket at the end. It's 27-23 Missouri State at halftime.
Your home for the Missouri Valley Conference is FSN Midwest.
The Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By the Prairie Farms family of dairies. Prairie Farms, Highland and Roberts Dairies. Serving Mid-America with quality fresh dairy products every day. By Sirius Satellite Radio. Sirius is unbeatable radio. All radio is not created equal. By Purina Dog Chow. Long live your dog. And by Choice Hotels. With over 5,000 hotels from which to choose, there's bound to be a Choice Hotel wherever you're headed. Welcome back to Springfield for our Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital halftime report. Brought to you by Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, where love for kids just keeps on growing. Here at the Hammond Student Center in front of a big crowd, the automatic bid from the Valley. Missouri State trying to win 4 games in 4 days. Mitch Holt is back with you along with Jill Hutchison. This game has been very even up to this point, whereas Missouri State picked up the slight edge.
They're hitting their shots, and frankly, they're probably getting some better looks than Indiana State is right now. Indiana State getting the ball into the paint, not kicking it out to open shooters and good shooters, frankly. So they're just not getting the shots they want. Therefore, they're not shooting a great percentage.
We've been here since Thursday. On Thursday, we were announced the different teams, and here's your all-conference team. Jill, and your thoughts.
I think it could be one of the more balanced athletic groups that we've had. There's some great new players there, but the interesting part, there's several of these kids that are going to graduate. You know, there's some great freshmen in this league, though, and I think that's impressive. Chrissy Cerrone out of Illinois State leads that crowd. But we're going to lose Melanie Beglin. We're going to lose Cassie Hager. We're going to lose Carrie Koch, and those have been great players in the Valley.
Looking for the next group of heroes next year in America's Renaissance Conference. So far, the championship game has not disappointed. Missouri State riding the emotion of a big crowd, leading 27-23 at halftime. Today's O'Reilly Auto Parts Millennium Moment showcases the 2005 State Farm Valley Tournament Championship run by Illinois State. Seeded 8th in the tournament, the Birds upset top-seeded Missouri State in the first round, beat Northern Iowa in the semifinals, and in the finals met Indiana State. Powered by 22 points from tournament MVP Jackie McCormick and hit the game-winning shot, Illinois State edged the Sycamores 72-70. Today's O'Reilly Auto Parts Millennium Moment. Today's Aeropostale Missouri Valley Conference legend is the NCAA's all-time Division I women's scoring leader, Jackie Stiles of Missouri State. The pride of Claflin, Kansas. She was the Valley's most valuable player 3 times and was an All-American all 4 seasons at Missouri State, plus led the Lady Bears to the Final Four in St. Louis. Missouri State's Jackie Stiles, today's Aeropostale Missouri Valley Conference legend. Welcome back to our halftime report. It's brought to you by Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, where our love for kids keeps on growing. Missouri State again trying to win 4 games in 4 days. They were the 7th seed in the tournament. They're leading Indiana State the 1 seed, 27-23 at halftime. Checking in now with Jill on the Purina Dog Chow first half stats. Purina Dog Chow, long live your dog.
Well, the biggest difference right now is shooting percentage, 40-32, and the Lady Bears getting some at the three-point arc as well. The free throws haven't been as big of an issue as the fouls were, frankly. It was 3-8 on the fouls, but they didn't take advantage of that too well. And the rebounds, probably the big difference is 8 offensive boards for Indiana State against 6 for the Lady Bears. So front court scoring, it continues to be an issue, and it's surprising that Indiana State hasn't put more points up.
4-point lead for Missouri State, trying to live the dream for one more half. Today's ConAgra Foods, where are they now? Spotlight shines on former Missouri State head coach Cheryl Burnett, a native of Centralia, Missouri. She was the architect of a Lady Bear program that won 319 games in 15 seasons. She led the Lady Bears to 2 NCAA Division I women's basketball Final Fours. A 3-time Conference Coach of the Year, Cheryl Burnett of Missouri State. ConAgra Foods, maker of Banquet, Chef Boyardee, Ready Whip, and other favorites. Today's Mohila Missouri Valley Conference famous alum is Kathy Boswell of Illinois State University. She played for Jill Hutchison in the Birds. A native of Shorewood, Illinois, she was a member of the gold medal winning 1984 U.S. Olympic team, a member of the Valley Conference Athletics Hall of Fame. Kathy played professionally in Germany, Italy, Spain, Brazil, and the ABL in the United States. When considering loan options for your education, be sure and call 1-800-6-MOHILA. You too may someday become a famous Valley alum. The Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week is brought to you by Budweiser. Bright, crisp, clean, pure. This is Budweiser. This is beer. By ConAgra Foods, maker of Banquet, Chef Boyardee, Ready Whip, and other favorites. By Pepsi-Cola, the official soft drink of the Missouri Valley Conference. By John Q. Hammons Hotels, the leading independent owner and manager of upscale hotels and meeting facilities. And by Aeropostale, providing scholarships through sponsorship with athletically inspired, comfortable clothes at reasonable prices. Back in Springfield, 27-23, Missouri State with the lead at halftime. Now let's check in with Scott Warman and Coach Jim Weedy.
Coach, down by 4 at the half. What's been some of the keys for Missouri State's success?
Well, we're not putting the ball in the basket. I think we're getting good shot opportunities. I think we have 6 more shots than them. I'm really pleased with our defense to hold them to 27 in the first half. I think we've done an outstanding job on Kerry Cope. We just got to get a little bit better shot selection, get our perimeter players a little more involved. Foul trouble was a little bit of a problem against Evansville. A little bit happier with that here today? Yeah, a lot better. Anytime Bagelin has to sit for an extended period of time, it doesn't make me very happy. Coach, best of luck in the second. All right, thank you.
Our chat with the coaches all year long has been brought to you by Mercy Health Plans, an innovative health management company empowering members to make healthy choices. The way we care makes all the difference. 27-23. Again, Missouri State. There you go, the Lady Bears on a 7-2 run to close out the half. And as Jill told you, undefeated when leading at halftime this season. Again, they've only lost 12 times all time against Valley opponents on this floor. 116 wins and trying to get the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament.
Missouri State did a very good job first half, Mitch, spreading that offense and pulling the defense out, finding the shots that they wanted.
You see Coach Katie Abrahamson Henderson. Again, she's won 2 of the last 3 tournament titles. She was a 5 seed in Des Moines her first year as head coach and was able to pull that off. Then won as a host school here 2 years ago. And last year she was the 1 seed and had to play Illinois State on its home floor and lost. So she's kind of felt both sides of this hosting deal.
Yeah, no question. But after going 1 and out in the Valley tournament, they turned around and won the WNIT last year. A great representative for the Valley, and certainly disappointed they did not get to the big dance last season. They're working hard to get there now. Had
an exciting win over West Virginia in the finals. Mark Bolger's sister is on that West Virginia team. First possession, second half, is Missouri State's. Wearing maroon at home because they are the lower seeded team. 7th seed coming in. Turwell, Coke, it's one of her better looks in the game. Uh-oh. Usually that one's going down, and Hannah Kirk's fouling.
That's a tough shot to hit right out of halftime. You're a little cold.
Foul charge number 52 of the Lady Bears, Hannah Kirk.
Koch for the tournament, 5 of 22 from three-point range. Came in averaging 38% from three. Licious hustle, but tips it to Clausen. Clausen's played with a lot of energy. Menpaugh's got 2 fouls. Combs can't get it to Koch. Veerhoff. Boom. You knew that was going to happen.
First open look she's had. Again, we mentioned it earlier. They need to look for her. Looking on a trap down the backcourt.
4 for 5 in the tournament is Veerhoff from 3. 207 in her career. Only Courtney Menon more in Indiana State history. Hannah Kirk loses it. She had Koch.
Oh, official got clobbered on that play.
Amy Bonner took a shot over near the scorer's table.
I'm not real sure what that was about. You know, Indiana State showing much more man defense today than they've probably played all season.
Steve Stelgis on this crew, I mentioned it yesterday, is an NFL official, so he's used to some intense environments. Bad decision by Koch, trying to thread one inside. And a shot clock violation. Amy Bonner alertly seeing it, goes over to Indiana State.
That was quite a try by Turwell, though, to get a pass up there to Hannah Kirk over her head. And the Lady Bear fans are trying to keep their kids in this game defensively. This is quite a crowd today, Mitch.
Combs all over Veerhoff.
That's a 3rd foul on Rachel Menpaugh. I think it was a screen, illegal screen.
They might. Steph Lish gets this call.
Oh, my
That's her
fault.
3rd. This was away from the ball.
No, I didn't
off the
see it
screen.
at all.
Number 31, Kara Shilley for the Sycamores.
You know, that's going to hurt the Sycamores to have Lish on the bench. She truly has played her best basketball this past 2 or 3 weeks, really. Double-double, first of her career last night.
Her brother, a player at St. Louis University. Daddy played in the NFL for the Chicago Bears. High-low, Turwalp in the lane. And a foul.
I'll tell you, Missouri State is really pushing the ball into the paint today.
Kara Shilley gets her first foul, 2nd team foul, and it puts Hannah Kirk to the line. Kirk missing that one badly. Again, 47% at the line, but it bears repeating if you just joined us, Missouri State is the nation's best free throw shooting team. Although their best free throw shooter, Sarah Clausen, has missed 3 in the tournament. And that's almost reason to world spinning the other way. 28-26 Missouri State. Long way to go in this one. Shilley.
Another frustration foul by Indiana State. That's her 3rd foul of this half. 2 of them unnecessary fouls. Now, Katie Abrahamson Henderson talked about the fact that her team has disciplined themselves to quit fouling, and it is making a difference.
It gets Missouri State closer to that 1-and-1, and they get the right shooters at the line. They're deadly. Koch getting a lot of attention, just 4 points, average is 21. Ten to shoot. Valerio with 4 to shoot. And a foul on Weddle underneath.
With 1 second on the shot clock. Those are fouls coaches hate.
It's happened for the second time in this game. It happened in the first half.
Credit Hannah Kirk. She leaned to the basket. That drew the foul.
Hannah Kirk, all 3 points at the foul line. Three-point lead, Missouri State. Beglin. Menpaw. And this one's going against Turwelp. That's her second.
Yeah, Turwelp is thinking, I was just standing there. She fumbled the ball and went into me. The Missouri State defense is really forcing Melanie Beglin to give the ball up a lot. And they're doing a nice job keeping her in front of them.
Well, we've mentioned it, both she and Koch are so good at turning the corner, but Missouri State with a little bit of a different, they'll dare to take a 19-footer. They're just not going to come out and hedge or try to false hedge and make her turn the corner.
Right.
Menpaw got them both with the roll. 7 for Menpaw, averages 9. Now 6 of 8 for the tournament at the line. Valerio deals against the press. Koch with Beglin on her. Clausen forced that one. And Ashley Clark off the bench, hoping to give good minutes to this team. Beglin, that's the shot they dared her to take. Menpaw gets pulled down trying to get an offensive board. It's Breton Wyatt's foul. It's her second.
Sycamores have had a lot of second chances, offensive boards, fouls. They just have struggled to put the ball in the basket.
Fresh 30 for the Sycamores.
Missouri State in a matchup coming out of that out-of-bounds play. Whoa, nobody there.
They get real long in that matchup. Those guards are very active, Jill, and tough at that free throw line extended area in that matchup zone.
You know, it has all man principles. You could almost run a man offense against it.
We've seen some teams do exactly that.
Right.
Koch wants the ball. Reads the double. Breton Wyatt. That's what Indiana State wanted her to do, didn't it?
That's exactly it. They're going to trap Koch on those ball screens and make the big kids have to beat them.
Koch with good defense on Beglin. Again, she's open. This time buries it. Indiana State's got the lead.
Good players keep shooting. No question.
Timeout on the floor. A long way to go, and yet it's been intense since the opening tap. 1 point lead for the Sycamores, trying to get their first NCAA bid. Part of the throng that has made the trip from the Wabash family all the way to the Ozarks. Their team leading by a digit. Still a long way to go. Here's our look at scores and schedules in the tournament, Jill. Brought to you by Casey's General Store, a convenience store and a whole lot more. It's Casey's General Store, and for the most part, it has been a very good, hard-fought tournament.
I think teams, honestly, without exception, we're playing their very best basketball this season here. And that's the way it needs to be. I think that the middle of the pack in the Valley was very tough this season.
We saw even teams jump back on the radar throughout the regular season schedule. Evansville, Wichita State, Southern Illinois all made a splash. You mentioned the young kids in the league.
There were a lot of injuries in this conference this year that impacted several teams. And wow.
Valerio rises up and pops one in. 9 for Tani Valerio, Jill. She averages only 8 per game on the season.
You know, her best game of the season was against DePaul, nationally ranked on their home court. She shows up when she needs to.
We said the bigger the game, or somebody has to step up for him. Valerio's done that. That's a forced shot by Rodolfi. (31-30) Bears. Combs has a 3 blocked. Kicked out by Wyatt.
Good effort on the boards, though. Wyatt almost got that.
Combs is a gal, good freshman, made the all-freshman team, and we've seen her hit 7 threes in the tournament. But let's be honest, somebody's going to have to create a shot for her. She's not one who will create it by herself.
You're absolutely right. She's a catch-and-shoot player. She gets a 91% of her made baskets. 91 have been at the arc.
31-30, Missouri State. Beglin. It's on Wyatt. It's her 3rd.
That's pretty gutsy for Beglin. I think that was a zone. I am not really positive.
It's on Valerio. It's her 2nd.
Oh, when she went into the screen.
Beglin 2 of 2. Now 3 of 3 at the line for the game. 30 of her last 35. Look at the season she's had, Jill.
See, I think that's what makes Beglin so good. She is a total package. I mean, she shoots it, she defends, she gives it up, and she's a student. I mean, that's a great package.
32-31, Indiana State. Koch, Verhoff, they switch off on Koch. Now Beglin's got it. 4 points for Kerry Koch. Wyatt against Rodolfi. That's a force.
Nice board, though. I think that's Rodolfi's 3rd block in this game, Mitch.
Leah Phillips buries a 3. She's been huge in the tournament. Got 17 against Evansville. Missouri State calls a timeout. Indiana State has a 4-point lead with 13:41 to go in the game. Leah Phillips left alone. 5th 3-point make of the tournament for the freshman.
Your home for the Missouri Valley Conference is FSN Midwest.
Indiana State by 4. 13:41 left to go in the game here in intense Springfield. With over 5,000 hotels to choose from, there's bound to be a choice hotel. Wherever you're headed, book your stay at any Comfort Inn, Comfort Suites, Quality Sleep Inn, Clarion Mainstay Suites, at Conalaja Roadway Inn by calling 877-240-2929. Or visit choicesportstravel.com and get your best internet rate guarantee. We'll see you there. This place is rocking. And there is a foul up top. It's on Lish, and that is her 4th foul.
Wow. Lish is having a tough ball game after 2 really good performances in the quarter and semifinals. Ashley Clark is going to have to step up. She was a newcomer of the year in the Valley last year and has really had a kind of a milquetoast season so far.
Last year, Jill, she averaged 14 points and 7 rebounds. This year, 5 points and 4 boards.
Yeah, she just has not been able to get it going at either end of the floor, unfortunately.
Underneath, the Lady Bears get a much-needed basket. Sarah Clausen gets her first second half 2. Combs trying to bring the heat. Still 13 to shoot. Beglin set shot. Valerio loves to push it on the break. Tie game. Valerio's got 11 points.
Tani Valerio is a competitor.
Rodolfi. Wyatt with the block, and they're going to call a foul on Wyatt. Not on the hands. They're going to rule this. Greg Small's going to call it with the body, and that is the third foul on Bratton Wyatt.
Missouri State does not have a lot of depth in there. They can't afford fouls on their inside kids. They're playing a four-guard offense, and Carrie Koch is trying to get this crowd going.
Rodolphe makes the free throw. Rodolphe was 7 points, 6 lead changes. Indiana State with a lead of 1. Rodolphe, 7 points, 7 boards, 3 blocks. Two-point lead, Sycamores. This is what we expected. 3 ties, 6 lead changes. Automatic bid on the line to the NCAA. Clausen, wide open.
Sarah Clausen came out of that last timeout ready to rip. That's her second take off of a dribble.
37-37 tie, under 12 left in the game. Ashley Clark, the shot she made a lot last year.
I tell you, this is when you do it for your team. Everybody's got to step it up.
Cope got Wyatt the dish.
Wyatt tried that with her left hand. It was a good take, really.
Beglin. Clark with the offhand. Rodolphe at point blank range misses it.
You know, you watch Tani Valerio. This will be her team next year. She should fill that point guard and leadership role.
Clausen with the leaner, no.
Nice defense by Clark that time without fouling.
And Rodolphe nearing double-digit rebounding. Jill, you can feel it here on every possession.
This is definitely championship atmosphere. I mean, 2 great crowds, one from Indiana State and one from Missouri State.
Combs, a 3-ball not there today, at least to this point. Yeah. 0 for 4 from 3.
I wouldn't keep leaving her open, though, if I were the Sycamores.
And a foul. Beglin goes to the line. It's on Wyatt.
Yeah, that one should be on Wyatt, and that should be her 4th.
Hang on, a long way to go. Beglin's at the line when you come back.
Welcome back to the Hammond Student Center. Indiana State, the top seed, looking for the Missouri Valley Conference Championship. And you know, guys, right about this time is where we've seen Missouri State get on the run. Second half runs have been their key to make it to this championship game. And Coach Jill Hutchison, I wanted to ask you if maybe Coach Weedy should go for a full court press, because I think the interesting question is, does Missouri State have enough gas in the tank right now?
Well, you know, I thought that Indiana State had to get the lead so that Missouri State could come back. So it's going to be an interesting 10 minutes. You know, the other thing usually coaches say, the first 5 minutes of that second half is so critical. Indiana State got back into it and got a lead during that first 5, but it isn't over anywhere close right now.
Beglin is 19 of 21 at the foul stripe for the tournament. She's 6 of 6 in this game, a 4-point lead for Indiana State. Cope, just 4 points, lots of attention. But others have stepped up to keep Missouri State in it, like Tani Valerio.
Cope looking to go one-on-one with Beglin.
And with Bratton Wyatt out of there, Terwelp and Kirk maybe not as skilled inside as a freshman like Bratton Wyatt, the freshman. Near steal, Valerio all over Verhoff. 10 to shoot. Kristen Weidel off balance. Great defense, Missouri State.
Yeah, credit Sarah Clausen with that defense. Great position. I don't think Terwelp wanted the ball right there.
Indiana State continues to face guard Carrie Koch and switching off screens. Turwell. No, but fouled. Minpaw, and that's her third.
An unnecessary foul. Minpaw was right there. She just needed to move her feet.
And 2 shots for Tiff Turwell, who's 2 of 2 at the line for the game and 7 of 8 for the tournament. There's your Bears coming from behind. You can just walk them through this. That Bradley game, they were beat, Jill. That was Thursday.
They were down 14, and I swear Bradley seemed totally in control, and all of a sudden they just lit the fire. And that was probably the biggest turnaround. But that 7-5 against Drake, 21-7 against UNI, they have just had a lot left when they needed to.
2-point lead. Indiana State, they have possession. Still 8:53 to go.
So far in this game, Mitch, neither team with an extensive run.
Verhoff, not a 2-point shooter necessarily. She has 14 twos and 70 threes coming in. 71 threes now. Koch had it underneath the basket and didn't shoot it, Joe.
I was surprised she didn't, because I think she would have drawn the foul that time. Indiana State out of position, tracking her into the paint.
And you've mentioned so many times, Indiana State's done a great job on her. Averaging 21 points a game. They're face guarding her, switching off on her, trapping her. But you'll get it in transition sometimes.
No doubt.
Rodolphi's been trying to take that. Weddle. It's on Koch.
Fans here aren't real tickled when their star gets that foul.
It's just her first, but it does put Indiana State in the first bonus.
That was just a titch late on that rotation by Carrie Koch.
Rodolphi's been one of the stories of this game for Indiana State with Lish in foul trouble. Rodolphi now 3 of 3 at the line and 9 points.
Well, she sure stepped up her percentage at the line in this game.
Indiana State now 12 of 13 at the foul line for the game. Giving a little bit of Missouri State's own medicine.
Both teams will be in the bonus the next foul on Indiana State.
Clausen. 9 to shoot. They're looking for Valerio or Koch. This is Clausen.
Clausen can take it to the hole as well as anybody. Good timeout by Katie.
Coach Abe takes timeout. She's got 3 to shoot. Now the question is where this will be inbounded.
I would think sideline, don't
you?
Yeah,
be right in front of her bench on the sideline. So she's got to design a sideline play here. Probably would rather have it underneath, but they had nothing going, and they were headed for a violation.
You're absolutely right. You know, if Clausen had decided to take it a little sooner, she would have had enough time, and she has definitely been effective going to the basket today.
Missouri State, this crowd has been great. Indiana State's got a tremendous group here. Missouri State for years, though, has been one of the top 15, sometimes top 10 in attendance in women's basketball. Their tradition, 12 NCAA tournaments in 15 years. But Indiana State has done the same. They had 6,800 people in the senior day at Indiana State to close out the year.
You know, this is the exciting thing about what's happening in the Valley right now. There's a lot of programs that are really building a fan base and developing some tradition in their program.
Clausen trying to beat the buzzer, but Kirk with an offensive board and a foul on Rodolphi.
Huge board by Hannah Kirk, the senior.
It'll be 1-1 when we come back for Hannah Kirk. 4-point lead for the 1 seed. (43-39) Indiana State, the lead over Missouri State. 7:44 to go in our Valley Championship game. Our Renaissance Grand Hotel St. Louis date in history. 1994, Tina Robbins of Missouri State hit all 11 free throws. The Bears beat Creighton in the State Farm Missouri Valley Conference tournament. The Renaissance Grand Hotel St. Louis, the official St. Louis hotel of the Missouri Valley Conference. Coach Katie Abrahamson Henderson watches Hannah Kirk miss a free throw, and it is out to Indiana State. Kirk has been to the line 7 times, Jill, and hit just 3.
She struggles away from the basket, but I'll tell you what, she's making some things happen on the boards.
She has indeed with 6 rebounds. Rodolphe, long, lean, and finishing. 12 points, the biggest lead of the game for Indiana State at 6 with 7:19 to go.
I don't think any lead is safe in this game, though, Mitch. MSU has proven that they can come back anytime.
Clausen finds Turwelt, missing a layup. Valerio, but saves it to Lish. Beglin, Indiana State being careful with this possession. 12 to shoot. Lish playing with 4 fouls. Sets the screen. Beglin. New 30 for Indiana State.
That's when they miss, Lish being on the floor.
Beglin, the scoop shot in by the player of the year in the Valley. 17 points for Beglin. An 8-point lead for the Sycamores.
I'll tell you what, everybody knows she's going to go left, and she still goes left and scores.
Clausen blocked. Missouri State keeps it with 10 to shoot.
That block from behind, I think, by Rodolphe. That would be her 4th block in this game.
Rodolphe sets down. Big effort for the Sycamores. 12 points, 10 boards, and you mentioned the blocks. Missouri State needs a basket. Koch wants it back in the corner. Instead, Valerio will reverse it. She's keeping him in the game. That's 13 points for Tani Valerio.
You know, Valerio is usually great in a transition game, but she's done it in the half court today.
Lish, ill-advised shot. Valerio to the rack, dishes off. Turwelt, back-to-back buckets for the Bears.
All right, now we could be having a run here, Mitch. Here they come again.
Still 5:22 to go.
Indiana State needs to score to stop this run.
Ashley Clark missing the left-hander. Koch, strong crossover. Bucket, Carrie Koch, her first of the second half. 6 in a row, it's a 2-point game.
Credit Tani Valerio. She's either made the bucket or created the pass.
Beglin around Koch. Tries to thread one into Clark. Indiana State has 12 to shoot it. Are they going to reset it to 15 with the kick?
Back in for the Sycamores, number 45, Lara Rodolphe.
A 6-0 run for Missouri State. Rodolphe tries to
shot.
7 to shoot. Beglin. Tough shot, Beglin. She's got 19. Stepping up big in the second half.
2 seconds left on the clock when that ball went down.
She was incredible last year with 30 in the championship game, but lost to Illinois State. Koch. Lish has 4 fouls and has to be careful. 10 to shoot. Valerio.
Well, that's the first one of hers that hasn't fallen in a critical situation.
49-45. 3:40 to go in the game.
Jim Weedy talked about not controlling the clock as well as he should have yesterday. He's definitely using clock right now.
The only difference was Lish's quick shot that was in the middle of that run. 4 to shoot. Weddle. Good defense, Missouri State. Valerio. Incredibly, she's got 15. 2-point game. 3 minutes to go. Lish blocked by Wyatt. And Lish is fouled out. Lish fouls out at 2:52 left in the game. 2-point lead, Indiana State. Don't go anywhere. There's still a lot of drama. Here's our game reset, a presentation of the Springfield Convention and Visitors Bureau. 2-point lead for Indiana State. Both teams with ample timeouts, and both teams are in the bonus. Look at Stephanie Lish, so good yesterday to get her team to the finals with a double-double against Evansville, with fouling out with 2:52 remaining in this game and just 4 points, 7 under her average.
Bretton Wyatt in a critical spot here. 73% free throw shooter.
7 for 7 for the tournament, Jill. At the line is the freshman from Edmond, Oklahoma.
I think the lady's got ice in her veins, Mitch.
She represents a big part of Missouri State's future. Tie game. Indiana State led by 8 not that long ago. Beglin over Koch, bad shot, an air ball. She's trying to get Leah Phillips in the right spot.
Just need a practice shot there.
That might get her a warning for delay of game, perhaps.
I think Greg Small was telling her that, too.
Missouri State can take the lead. Tied at 49 with 2:33 to go. Koch loses Beglin. Wyatt gets 2 more free throws.
Wyatt, with 4 fouls, is really stepping up in crunch time right now. She will be the tallest kid on the floor the rest of this ball game.
3rd foul on Weddle. 9 team fouls now on Indiana State. Wyatt takes her perfect free throw shooting for the tournament to the line. And you almost feel like it's just like Carrie Koch being up there.
You know, this is exactly what Katie Abrahamson-Henderson wanted, is to get her team at the line, especially at this point in the ball game.
4 straight free throws by Wyatt gives Missouri State the lead. It is the 8th lead change. Still 2:17 to go.
Indiana State really needs a bucket here, Mitch.
Weddle. Rodolphe throws it away. Tiff Turwell with the steal.
If they would go in-out, they had Beglin sitting right outside, undefended.
(51-49). Missouri State with 1:45 to go. Koch with 4 to shoot. A reach in by Beglin.
Tough call. They flattened it out for Carrie Koch. This could be a huge cushion because you can assume that Carrie Koch can hit these.
Well, she's 87%, and in the tournament, 22 of 22. Ooh.
Whoa.
First miss of the tournament. In the finals as a sophomore against Drake in this game. 10 of 10 at the line.
At MSU on a 12-2 run. You just saw that graphic. Here they are back.
52-49 Missouri State. 1:30 to go in the game. Beglin wants it. Misses the layup. Rebound. Turwell with a couple big boards here. And now Missouri State has a 3-point lead and the ball. And on the verge of winning 4 games in 4 days on its home floor to get an automatic bid. Timeout, Katie Abrahamson Henderson. 1:03 from the end of a fairy tale. Let's announce our State Farm players of the game. And for Missouri State, Tani Valerio, the sophomore from Buhler, Kansas.
Oh, Valerio has been the spark off the bench that has gotten everything going. She hit that 1-3, but she's come in off a penetration, pulling up for shots. I've been impressed with Valerio. I think she's really stepped it up.
And our State Farm player of the game for Indiana State, Melanie Beglin, the player of the year in the Valley, 19 points overall.
Beglin, what can you say about Melanie Beglin? I think she's a great player because she's such a total package. She gives it all heart. She plays with a passion. You know, she's had a couple tough situations here at the end of the game, Mitch, but I'd still put it in her hands.
Correction, 16 points for Beglin, 6 of 6 at the line, 5 of 15, however, from the field. Our State Farm players of the game brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This is a tough situation. Indiana State's been in it 2 years in a row, playing on the home court against a much lower seed in their season on the line. They have a 38 RPI. They're definitely a bubble team in the NCAA tournament.
Won 16 regular season games. Turwell into Koch, 15 to shoot.
Clear out for Koch.
And a bucket for Koch. 9 points for Carrie Koch. The senior from Ellsbury, Missouri. 5-point lead, Missouri State. Beglin. No. And the post players for Missouri State good down the stretch defensively. And Koch fouled. Three fouls on Beglin and Koch to the line.
I'll tell you, Missouri State has done everything they needed to do at the right time in this game. I think Tani Valerio started this run, and she has gotten them going.
Missouri State entered this tournament, Jill, with a 13-14 record. They were down 14 in the play-in game to Bradley, gasping for air. And then just took team after team down through the bracket. Ahead by 7 with 41 seconds to go. Beglin for 3, air ball.
Jim Weedy a little frustrated, can't quite get anything going here. 4-possession game, there's not enough time for the Sycamores to bring this back.
Missouri State last year did not make the NCAA tournament. As a 1 seed, lost on Illinois State's home floor. But they made the most of it. You mentioned winning the WNIT national title. Katie Abrahamson Henderson on the cusp of winning her 3rd tournament title in 4 years.
I'll tell you what, that's just flat good coaching, because they're playing with 7 kids and have had some unbelievable injuries this season that have made it extremely difficult to get here.
These guys, you see the emotion of Hannah Kirk on the sideline. These guys have struggled all year. In January, we saw them get thumped by Indiana State, scoring 34 points. All year long, people were asking, what's wrong with Missouri State? Well, for the last 4 days, nothing. Bucket by Clark, timeout by Jim Weedy. And here's our Rawlings play of the game. Carrie Koch was held down until the end of the game.
Well, she definitely stepped up when she had to, and you know, that gave them that 5-point cushion. Weddle couldn't stay with her, no help rotation. Koch did it when she had to.
Our play of the game brought to you by Rawlings, the official athletic equipment of the Missouri Valley Conference.
You know what has impressed me about Carrie Koch this season? A very, very frustrating year for her when her team just wasn't being successful. She stayed with it, but she has become the vocal leader for that squad. She's never had to do that playing with some other kids like Jenny Linger who did that for them. But Koch has really stepped up and given them that leadership from a senior position.
Now, you mentioned Indiana State with an RPI of 38. They'll be 26-5 after they lose this game. But they won the league by 3 games, Jill. They played Connecticut. They played Kentucky. You just hope they get every consideration to make an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. Every league begs for their teams. But Jim Weedy is going to take a resume to the committee and say, what do you think here?
Yeah, I think they're deserving personally. I think they can compete with a ton of teams that are going to be in that NCAA tournament. And obviously, Missouri State can compete as well.
Missouri State was down 8. Down 8. They trailed in all 4 games. A remarkable ride. Beglin, the player of the year, with the miss. Weddle traveling. 15 seconds left. And Missouri State is going to pull it off. The Syracuse men captured the attention of the nation, winning 4 games in 4 days at Madison Square Garden. Then Xavier's men did it in the Atlantic 10. And Missouri State's women are going to do the same thing in America's Renaissance Conference, the Missouri Valley.
This Missouri State squad's going to lose 3 key seniors to graduation. Carrie Koch, Sarah Clausen, and Hannah Kirk. The 3 Ks led this program this season.
Clausen, who's missed 3 free throws in the tournament, is not going to miss these.
You know, Katie Abrahamson Henderson's a little emotional. This has been a tough season on coaches as well as players. And you know, there were a lot of doubters in this Lady Bear Nation. They've proven themselves this weekend. The
Lady Bear Nation is getting an NCAA trip in the most improbable of circumstances. And yet the Lady Bear Nation needs to take a bow. Their energy, their emotion carried this team through fatigue and double-digit second-half deficits.
There's no question. And you know what? This is an educated fan base. They know how to help their team. Crowd here trying to encourage the voters. Carrie Koch is MVP. Koch played all but 2 minutes of this tournament.
Well, she'll be MVP of this tournament, so she'll get 1 MVP. But Melody Beglin, very deserving during the regular season. Her team was 16-2.
Well, I tell you what, you got to hurt for Melanie Beglin for all that she's done and still not to get a championship.
It's over, and the championship of the Missouri Valley Conference Hoops in the Heartland belongs to the Missouri State Bears. 64-55. Hail to the champions. Hail to Missouri State, winners of 4 games in 4 days, and goes to the NCAA tournament with a 17-14 record. And the emotion oozing out of Carrie Koch. It has been a difficult season for Carrie in a variety of ways. But today is a day of celebration for Katie Abrahamson Henderson and her great senior guard, Carrie Koch.
A lot of tears for the Lady Bears, and you know there's going to be a lot of tears for the Lady Sycamores as well. They're just for a different reason.
There's your 25-8 scoring run in the final 6 minutes of the game. And while they celebrate, this might be your MVP, and that is the crowd. This crowd that was around 6,000 for every night. You see Katie Abrahamson Henderson, she is giving her MVP trophy to the great Lady Bear fans.
Katie's just a little excited. Well earned.
Carrie Koch, what a tournament. She ended up with 17 in this game, and most of those in the last 5 minutes. 28 Bradley, 23 Drake, 22 against UNI, 6 boards and 7 assists. And in this game, Koch with 17 points, 9 of 10 at the line, and 3 assists.
Well, she got her average. She was at 22 points a game during the tournament. Carrie is just a little excited. You know, 4 years here, they've been postseason every single year. There's a heck of a tradition.
The celebration continues in the Ozarks. Katie Abrahamson Henderson, her 3rd tourney title in 4 years in the chair as the queen of the Lady Bear Nation. And there's athletic director Bill Rowe. So supportive of women's athletics here. Jill, it's been a great year. I only hope Indiana State gets in. They deserve it. And to lose on the home floor is hard to do in postseason tournaments, but you got to give credit to Missouri State. 4 wins in 4 days is hard to do. Home, road, neutral.
You're absolutely right. Missouri State earned it. Just tough swallow.
Give credit to Carrie Koch, the great senior, and Sarah Clausen. Tani Valerio in this game. Jim Weedy waits for a decision from the committee. For Jill Hutchison, this is Mitch Holtis. Hail to the Bears. Hail to the Lady Bears of Missouri State, Valley champions. Thanks for a great season.